this week's episode, we have some updates on Euro Swiss franc, Euro New Zealand dollar, and USD Swiss franc, and we also take a look at setups on USDJPY and Brent crude oil. As always, we take a look at some of the best trades from our Discord trading room. Enjoy. Welcome, guys, to another weekly market review here with the FX price action. I'm going to start us off by looking at a few charts that we actually shared last week and just updating you guys on that. And the first one is Euro Swiss franc that we shared last week. And if you guys remember, we were looking for this breakout of this sort of ending diagonal. And we had quite a nice long, quite an easy long actually. Personally, I didn't take it, but I see quite a few traders in our trading room took this one, and we did have these highs marked off as targets. Now, how it's going to play out further, I'm not 100% sure, but I have a couple of scenarios in mind. Ultimately, I do think we're going to come lower again, and we have a bit of a flip zone setup developing at the moment. Now, if I jump down to the 2-hour time frame, this might be the easiest to see. We had the market run this liquidity level, and then we had the consolidation above this level before it broke down. It actually had a bit of a retest, and then the market came down again. Now, if the market just continues falling, there'd be no trade setup. But what I'm going to look for next week is if we get corrective price action and we perhaps get back to these two clean points of liquidity, then yeah, I'll look to short the market and take it lower again. Again, we're going to have to watch the price action. If perhaps it trades lower, has a consolidation, and then starts impulsing up, then I'd be inclined to stay out of its way and not take the trade. All right, next up, Euro New Zealand dollar. This is one we've been covering quite a bit in our market reviews. And if you guys remember, we were looking for longs once we get to below these lows into this weekly order block. And we had quite a nice reaction early last week. If you were up in the Asian session, you could have caught this move. But I'm going to look for perhaps continuation moves next week. And ideally what I would like to see is a bit of a corrective pattern, and those that completed our training program would know what we're looking for. And ideally, a move back. It would be nice if we can fill this whole void into this order block, but anything below this low, we'll start hunting for the price action. And once we get here, hopefully we'll find our entry pattern, and then we can take it at least to this first point of liquidity to complete a bigger corrective structure here. Potentially we can go higher, but for now that looks like a pretty decent target if we do find a setup on this one. Alright, and then next up, USD Swiss franc. We covered this also last week, and we had this flip zone marked off, and we said we were looking for a move back into this area to take our longs. We had quite a nice reaction on there, and actually quite a few of our traders caught this move. But once we got up here, we had another distribution, and then the market came crashing down. So we didn't get that big move that we anticipated, but there were still lots of pips that you could have locked in. What's happening now, though, the trade idea has not changed for me. I'm still looking for those longs. But ideally, what I would like to see now is this market make new lows. And once we make new lows, again, then the hunting period starts, and we're going to look for those longs to complete the bigger corrective pattern before ultimately going lower again. You can watch the previous videos if you want to just see the structure that we're playing on the dollar. But for now, it's unfortunately this one wasn't ready, and hopefully we'll find the move next week. Alright, next up, USDJPY, which is sort of in line with the USD Swiss franc that I just shared. What I'm looking for here, again, is prices to trade lower. We got these clean lows over here and developed flip zone in this area. So ideally, I'd like to see a move to this area, and if we find the price action here, we can take a move at least to the next point of liquidity. So this is looks like quite a clean setup, so definitely one for the watch list next week. Right, then looking at UKOIL or Brent crude oil, I'm on a daily time frame here, and as you guys know, oil had the big collapse with the COVID pandemic, and now it's busy making a bit of a recovery. Now looking on the daily chart here, my first sort of resistance level comes in at around about $50 to the barrel. But currently the market is busy, grinding up and making a bit of an ending diagonal or 3-drive pattern, which is a bit of a bearish sign. So potentially what we could have, the market could go straight up to this level, but ideally what I would like to see is this market make one more new high over here, and then we can get a bit of a correction, and that would complete a bigger correction for them before the market heads higher to this level. So if I can just jump to the lower time frame. So ideally any move next week back to new highs, you start looking for, or I'm going to start looking for some price action, and hopefully we can find a nice short to take this market lower. I'd imagine the first point of resistance would be this level over here. After that, I'm not sure, but this would be a very good target if we manage to find an entry on this one. Right, that's it from me, guys. I actually have quite a few more setups, but I'm going to be sharing them in the FX War Room. Good luck for next week, guys, and I'll see you all in the trading room. Cheers.